Excuse me? Hey, excuse me? What are you doing here? The docks are closed to civilians at night. You're lost? Well, I don't think I've seen you around here before. Are you new to the city then? Oh, I see. No, don't worry about it. Happens to everyone. This place can be a real maze. In that case, why don't I help you find the place you're looking for? Oh, no, it's no trouble. I am a member of the city guard. That's sort of the thing I do. Where is it you're trying to get to? The Sleeping Ogre Inn? That's way on the other side of town. How did you wind up over here? Directions? Let me see those if that's alright. Okay, let's see. Turn right after you enter through the west gate. Left at the carpenter shop. Follow the main street until... Oh, I see the problem. You probably followed Main Street, like a horse's mane. That would take you here, but you actually wanted to go to Main Street, as in the largest street in the city. Looks like whoever wrote this down misspelled it. Oh, I agree. It's stupid to have such similar sounding names. But that's how they're known, and it's hard to convince the locals to change it when it's been like that their whole lives. Alright then, follow me. I'll get you to your inn. So, what brings you here? Being the royal city, it's not uncommon to get visitors, of course. But you don't strike me as the type of person who usually comes here. Mostly we get uppity nobles looking to find favor with the queen. That and merchants. You seem a bit more down to earth, if you'll excuse me for judging your appearance. Oh, a historian, huh? I bet you're here for the Royal Library then. That should be perfect for you. The Queen has made education a big priority, so the library is well stocked and well funded. You won't find a better place for doing research. You don't sound too enthusiastic. What's wrong? If you don't mind me asking, of course. That makes sense. If you came from a small town, the largest city in the kingdom is going to be awfully intimidating. I won't lie to you. It's a different experience. I was born in a tiny little village and came here looking for something different. It was pretty unnerving at first. Everything moving so fast, constantly surrounded by strangers. You get used to it though. There are a lot of perks, lots of opportunities, lots of resources. I think you'll grow to like it, if you give it some time. But I'm sure you're not here to listen to some guard babble on about herself. I bet you're curious about the royal city, right? It doesn't have a true name aside from the royal city. The kingdom's founder didn't want there to be a capital city at all. He felt it wasn't fair for one city to benefit from that sort of influence. Unfortunately, it wasn't very realistic. Eventually, the castle needed ports, and the ports needed warehouses, and the workers needed places to eat and sleep. But out of respect for his wishes, this place was never officially declared a city. It's technically considered an extension of the castle. I guess it makes sense you'd already know that, being a historian and all. Anyways, it's a great city to live in. The queen has done a great job running the place. She's done a great job running it, even without a spouse to help her. Apparently, she never found anyone that suited her standards. Of course, there are rumors that... I probably shouldn't say. It's not becoming of a guard to be gossiping about royalty. And anyway, it hardly matters. We couldn't ask for a better ruler. Me? Oh no, like I said, you don't want to know about me. I am basically interchangeable with every other guard in the city. Nothing interesting. Alright. Well, I already told you that I moved from a village. My father was a woodcutter. Pretty well respected in the village, and since I was the oldest of his 3 children, he wanted me to follow in his footsteps. But for some reason, I always wanted to feel like I was doing more. What he did was important, of course. There was always a demand for wood, but it didn't feel important enough to me. I wanted to feel like I really was making a difference in the world. It was probably all the stories of brave knights my mother would tell us. I could never get enough of those. I wanted to be a valiant knight in shining armor, just like the ones in the stories. Of course, that was sort of a hopeless dream. In this kingdom, knighthood is something for nobles. You can't just gain a title through hard work and determination. Still, I decided to get as close to it as I could. I came all the way to the royal city and enlisted with the city guard. I had originally planned to join the army after I got some experience, but after meeting a couple of veterans, I decided against that. Becoming an infantryman doesn't really give you the same experience as a knight, I hear. Yeah, I'll admit, sometimes I still feel a bit underwhelmed. Being a guard is good work. I do feel like I'm making a bigger difference than I would have back home, but it's not quite what I always dreamed of. I just want to matter. I did hear about something promising, but I mean, who am I kidding? Oh, nothing. It's just one of the nobles' houses doesn't have anyone in the family suited to knighthood, so they said they're going to take applicants for someone to be a knight to represent them. They don't want someone from a rival house if they can help it, so they're allowing commoners to apply. Well, sure, but do you know how many people will be jumping at the chance? What are the chances that I'd actually make it? I don't want to set myself up for disappointment, if I'm being honest. Well, it's not a bad point. I probably would always wonder whether I could have done it. The real problem is you can't just be a good fighter. I'm actually pretty confident in my skills in that regard. I'm the best swordswoman in the garrison. But there's a lot of ceremony and ritualism to being a knight. They're actually more interested in someone who can make them look good than someone who can fight, since they feel that the latter is more easily taught. Someone who's intelligent, brave, well-mannered. That's the part that worries me. I mean, it's really nice of you to say, but you just barely met me. If you knew me better, you'd probably find that your confidence is misplaced. Wow. I don't think anyone has ever told me that. Do you really think so? I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe I will try after all. Still, I'm a bit worried about it. I don't know all that much about nobles and what they expect. Oh, well, that's a good point. I guess as a historian you'd know a lot about the nobles' family history and social customs. Are you sure, though? Offering to tutor me on that. It's a lot to offer to a complete stranger. Would you really do all that for me? In that case, well, I'd be crazy to say no, wouldn't I? Thank you so much. This is so wonderful. Oh, and here we are. Wow. That went by a lot faster than I thought it would. I guess you're going inside now? You know, the sleeping ogre has really good food. Do you think maybe you might want to get some dinner with me before you go to bed? Yeah, great. Let's go then. I'll buy. No, really. You totally changed my perspective and made me believe in myself. This is the absolute least I can do. Let me thank you properly.